Hey everyone, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. And we're going to start with the football. It's been a busy day. I had a schedule. Let me get my water in. It's definitely coming home, Jams. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Guys, look, everyone's feeling good today. Obviously, we've got a new prime minister. England through to the semi-finals of the Euros. Crypto portfolio looking better, despite the fact that I said to everybody, look, don't even worry about this. I'd rather take a 70% hit for a 3,000 gain. And it seems like we might have more chops on the way. Mount Gox haven't even started selling, guys. But we're going to talk about some gems. We're going to talk about the portfolio. We're going to talk about stuff that I'm actually thinking of increasing in terms of investment. And yeah, big up yourselves. Jams, it is coming home for sure. Let's see who's in the building. What is going on, Shadow? I'm a bit earlier today because the caveman just dropped a message the other day saying I'm always late. But yeah, we're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about neural AI and GPU. Definitely. Look, I was one of the people who found GPU quite early, and at the time it was definitely one of the best trades. Now, on the other hand, neural I know is a favorite of Supo. Chart looks all right. I mean, to be honest with you, there's hardly any volume in this. Is it still on Uniswap? Yeah. So as a project, I'd rather put my money right now, and I've actually got something in line with that I wanted to talk about, which was the definition of insanity is to repeatedly do the same thing and expect a different results. I think this is probably one of the most relevant quotes. It's a famous quote by Einstein. I'm sure you all know this, but for everybody, in terms of looking at gems right now, low market cap gems, what to buy after such experience with the last, especially if you've been with me for the last, maybe I'd probably say 8, 9 months, or some of you have been with me for 18 months to the beginning days of Casper. But guys, if there's a lesson that we've learned, is the performance of a crypto in a bull market is absolutely relevant. And this is a time, in terms of when it comes to these low market gems, market cap gems, do they have the fundamentals? I think they do, whether you're looking at stuff like neural AI. But I don't want to be too niche, because I really need marketing and the ability to pump the cryptocurrency to the next leg up. So, look, the way I'm playing, the strategy that I'm deploying is I'm going to put most of my money in my core convictions, right? So everybody knows what those heavy bags are. I mean, the obvious ones like Casper, that's all done. But you need to look at your portfolio and say to yourself, am I repeating the same mistakes as I did prior to the run, like prior to the dump, I would say? And since we're still not out of the woods yet, I would definitely fix my portfolio, and I would only buy reputable projects. And I'm not talking about big market caps, but more or less what the teams are doing, what the ability of that project is to actually make me some returns, and pretty fast. So if it's some kind of an obscure gem that everybody's talking about is the next 100x gem, then I'm not interested. Now, this project has a lot to do. Okay, so first of all, granted, it's fully diluted at 15 million market cap. It will probably do well in an AI narrative. It's fully, all out, but it's going to get exchange listings. It's going to catch fire. So, as a allocation in my portfolio for something like this, I would just put a tiny amount in it. But where I'm looking to focus is, your AGIs, your based AIs, your slightly bigger projects that will have more traction moving forwards. But great question, man. What up, Cave? Yeah, nice to you. Listen, you told me, listen, you inspired me to come up here early. By the way, are we playing the Netherlands? Because I saw that match at 2-1. But yeah, shout out to the England boys. Supreme confidence in the penalty shootout. And yeah, on to the next one. Much love to you too, Tony. Looking forward to seeing you in Dubai, bro. So AWT at the one, yeah, man, went into Marvia. Gareth, look, at some point you got to cut the losers, and I think it's painful. It's really, really painful to go into a bull market and expect those micro caps, and you'll just keep waiting forever. Now, for me, Marvia was, and obviously the community knows. Shout out to you all. You got some generational buy on Marvia, but I decided not to just talk about this project at this price. I actually decided to download it and see what it's like to play, check out the gameplay. Now, considering if you're in if you're in a certain country, for example, you can actually make, this is what Axie did, right? Axie Infinity allowed people to quit their jobs essentially in developing nations. So some of the statistics here, look, even at $1.44, I still believe this is generational buy. So again, when the brother was hunting for neural AI, I genuinely believe you can actually, what's the market cap here? 45, 50 million? You could actually go all in into something like this and ride it to the top. I kid you not. $1, I think it was one of the rounds, I'm not sure what the seed was, but the IEO was 80 cents, right? Hashkey Capital, Binance Labs, Crypto.com. Look, I don't want to be the mouthpiece for these guys, but I would say at this price, again, I will take you back to that, that definition of insanity. It is absolutely, completely stupid to waste money in buying things that you don't actually know where they would head in terms of the overall promotion, in terms of you've got over 500 million, or I don't know how many downloads they've got, or how many players they've got monthly. It's something completely insane. So yeah, big shout out to you, brother Gareth. I know you've lost that 1.5K, but if you secure a nice bag of Marvia at these prices, I think you will do extremely well. So yeah, to hell with with those shit games, shit tokens, and you go for the Jagular. I'm holding on to my lit though. Yeah, look, fair enough. At the end of the day, I told you, I think all of you know, I really hate selling projects when projects are down and out, right? It's like, it's just an idea that they will catch a pump. But look, if you hold it, then fair enough. What you guys buying? Some deep discounts out there. Yeah, I mean the entire market is still, I mean, I'm not even looking at the daily, to be honest. The daily doesn't really offer you a perspective of what to buy. We're still not out of the chop yet, but at least we know right now. You just got to go shopping on the monthly. Take your pick. I mean, look, let's look at something like Say, right? A few months ago, every influencer was bigging up Say. Right now, Say has completely, I mean, the price is here. If you look at this, these are bear market prices. So even blue chips, suppose blue chips, this is now $800 million. Now, for me, this is a multi-cycle play. This is something that I would come back for the next bear market, but it just goes to show you what's out there. Another incredible project is Sui. Now, Sui is a Solana killer. And it's always been that, but the dilution here was just horrible. But if you look at the prices of Sui, let's look at these bear market prices. So 50 cents, 32, what is it now? 69. this has a massive ecosystem. This could easily, replace Solana. I mean, not replace, but in terms of transaction speed, in terms of the meme casino, in terms of the actual ecosystem, Sui is something right now, $1.7 billion. I mean, Sui is definitely way, way undervalued for the big caps. So if you wanted to put some money into a big cap, that's somewhere you could go. What else are we looking at? I mean, everything seems to be way smaller than Casper right now. Tau has a decent retracement, and it actually dipped down to $200. It also had a hack or of some sort this week, which is exactly when you're supposed to be buying projects like that. But over here, the unit bias is just not great. Ondo briefly went under $1, and then obviously it didn't really care. Ondo doesn't really care what we have, bear market, bull market. I would say though, my Ondo bag is going to be sold in December 2024 because of the massive unlock that's coming. You should probably see it here. Yeah, they've got a huge unlock. I mean, they're going to almost triple the circulating supply, right? So if you wanted some quality to run up to the elections and of course into the run about the Christmas time, winter time, Ondo Finance is the best RWA project for big money. Now, if we're degens here, right? So we need to look at smaller cryptocurrencies. I was quite impressed with the price performance of Rio. To be honest, I mean, Rio right now, I mean, I was expecting, I did actually say to someone in the Discord that set up an order limit for Rio. Rio right now it went under $1. But where it is right now, still, could there be 25 to 30x left in this? Absolutely. It bounced back after 93 cents. It looks like that was the bottom for Rio. I tell you what, though, if you're looking to shop today, I would say stuff that hasn't really moved that much. I think AI Tech is still a very, very good buy, extremely good buy at 12 cents. Grab yourself 10,000 AI Tech for $1,200. Not bad at all. Tectum hasn't moved that much. Yeah, Tectum hasn't moved at all. I mean, I checked this today. It went down to 608. But Tectum seems like it's having a prolonged. Yeah, it's moved up 7%, but this is still way under $7. For arguably something that is a layer one, and they added a new country to the soft note. So Tectum announced. I mean, I'm just looking at the ones that haven't really got away from people. Majority of market hasn't. But yeah, Tectum being one of the fastest blockchains with their soft node technology had a tons of whales dumping this. And I guess really with this one as a layer one, what you really want to learn about is the soft node, right? So this is the incredible technology that they developed to obviously scale Bitcoin. But let's have a look at this. So soft node, right? So I don't know if you've used their wallet. Again, there's a lot of sometimes projects are flooded because of price action alone, but people don't actually look at the fundamentals behind why they buy a project. Now, if these guys can get it right with a very, very good tokenomics, I think this could be a decent bet in the bull market. I think again, it shouldn't be your main bag. I think you should have of course, you should have your heavy convictions, but Tectum is one of those projects that is, for me, it's combining the transaction less payments on the Tectum blockchain. And if you use their wallet, if you look through this project, I think there's plenty that you'd find there, especially considering the price hasn't ripped 50% or 30% up, which is very good for us. So yes, soft note. Somebody said to me the other day on the live, somebody said, look, man, I'm not looking for more papers, right? Soft note. But listen, this is a BTC layer 2. So layer 1, layer 2, multi-narrative, great little project. and still depressed. So dollar cost average into that. So yeah, there's plenty of discounts out there, my friend. I tell you what, watching England play football is like you. Oh, bro, watching England's like the definition of insanity, man. But listen, the difference with the England team now than the ones years gone by. England team right now is what we used to call a continental team, right? England plays football. Well, technical players. Trent, you see that? You see that penalty kick from Alexander Arnold, my guy from Brentford. Big up Tony, man. Tony could have been. Listen, Tony could have been playing for Jamaica. He decided to stick with England. But yeah, listen, watching that game was tough. But when he brought on Cole Palmer and a few of the other lads, I think things went. Listen, we've got more England fans today than crypto fans. Big up yourself, R9. Hope you're doing well, bro. Big shout out to Rafa, always in the building. I see there are a lot of English people here in Belter. Let's see how the Netherlands did. Yeah. Guys, I'm sorry. Listen, the football, especially to our American friends. So, listen, the quarterfinals, semi-finals, going to be banging. England versus the Netherlands. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty good. But congratulations, in Belter, for securing your place. Yeah, what up, B tweets? I hope you're doing well, bro. Yo, listen, next week is going to be whatever the semi-final is going to be absolutely banging. Yes, you did. You absolutely did, bro. And big shout out to you. I've got a few there's a few things to share with everyone. So guys, look, yeah, big up yourself, caveman. This is a chart that everybody needs to have a look. I had another chart up which was incredible. Where's the other chart? All right, yeah. So let's have a look at this. So I tweeted this. I said, look, if 15% on a green day makes you happy, then you haven't seen anything, right? Honestly. And again, a lot of us, and again, this is why, you should join us, because you've got people like, the Patriot right here, my brother. Shout out, big up yourself to the DXB community. I have to shout you out, guys, because you have been absolutely incredible. A group of investors on a different platform, just helping each other and putting some sense into each other, right? Now, I tweeted this today, guys. I was like, look, if 15% on a green day makes everybody just enjoy their Saturday afternoon, I can honestly smell your barbecues from all the way from, from Europe, America, the rest of the world, the Dubai, the UAE, wherever you were today, you were having a good time, right? That's because green candles take away all the negative energy. But guys, we're just going back to where some of the entries were. We're not really making that much of money unless you're obviously entering now. But have a look at this graphic here, guys. I was like, look, don't want to sound arrogant, but I will be remembered as a bullish guy who wanted everyone to know the game hasn't kicked off yet. And I was watching football when I tweeted this. Block out the noise. Nothing like sitting back and preparing your bags, right? Just prepare your bags. Don't come up here and ask for the next 1000x degen shit, because that's not going to that's not going to pay the bills in the next bear market. I'm telling you now, you've got so many great projects to pick from. And here's the bit of graphic that I tweeted. And you guys are going to absolutely love this, because, this is incredible, right? So you've got, this is like 2011 to 2012, 2014 to 2016, right? Right about the same stage. And of course, these can be skewed. There was a video that I was watching today making pretty good arguments for a left-leaning cycle. But so what? I'm like, so effing what? If we have a left-leaning cycle, we're still able to take substantial amount of profits, in the cycle. But this is where we are, guys. This is where we are. This is the action. You just missed the. I think for most of you, if you want to have context, or if you wasn't in crypto that long, um, you missed some really really fun and funky days, such as the day when Ben Armstrong went over to the Bahamas, and he had the cameras running, and he wanted to get SBF arrested. Right? You missed that. You probably missed the of course, the capitulation. You missed the 16,000 Bitcoin. Having said that, some of the projects that we love and admire right now, a lot of those weren't around then, right? How's Cardano doing? I made videos about Casper being bigger than Cardano, and I got slated for it. So, guys, in respect to what this great brother of mine is saying, the Patriot, you haven't experienced anything, right? It's almost like the cycle will be bigger. Institutional adoption has kind of saved the day for us, because technically we should be in about $38,000 Bitcoin to about $50,000 max this time of the cycle. So we've got, the inflows haven't even really started to take shape as well. You've got a lot of data that actually backs up what I'm saying. And if you look at this, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but overall, guys, you have not missed any action. The only thing that you've done is you've come into crypto, and you probably bought at the wrong time, because nobody has a crystal ball, right? But I'm so happy that you're all in the market, because what you're doing right now is you're saying to yourself, am I crazy? Am I going to repeat the same mistakes as I did September 2023 before we had the next leg up? So yeah, big up yourself, brother. It's not even I told you so. It's facts. It's facts that you speak every single day about this market, man. Yo, beautiful Montenegro. What's going on, Donny? My man, Donkey Kong Country, man. Yo, the Orange Army is out as well. Yeah, you beat Turkey. Wow. Listen, I don't know what this stream is going to be like. We might as well live stream the match, guys, the way we're going. I'm stacking more on Miria, G Swift, and OTK. I think you're preparing for the inevitable gaming run that's going to hit us. By the way, Game Swift. So let's have a look at these. 11 cents. I mean, $7 million in market cap. Not bad at all. I mean, this is an epic retracement. And listen, in terms of like, if you look at the chart alone, right? If you look at the chart alone, then this is extremely shitty price action, right? But let's have a look at Star Heroes. So Star Heroes was built on this on G Swift. So as a platform, as a technology, I think this would be a beautiful, beautiful trade into the gaming season. When that kicks off. And I'm not sure if any of you have seen Star Heroes. Right now, this has got this is $4 million market cap. There is no volume here at all. $45,000 in volume, right? Absolutely nothing. So $4 million in market cap. It has massive, massive inflation, which is the issue with all of these. And let's have a look at how that's like. So yeah, I mean, this is really, really happening at a crucial time. So Star Heroes for me is not the one, but G Swift is. And then of course, listen, Miria as an Ethereum scaling solution, as a layer 2, will do very well. I genuinely believe that. I think the price action of Miria was and is, I mean, it could have, we could still go down slightly lower, but it doesn't actually matter. Having said that, let's have a look how the unlocked impacted Miria, because there was an unlock. There is an unlock today, guys. Could be wrong, but let's have a look at Miria's unlock. If you wanted to buy, if you wanted to load some more Miria, and this is why sometimes it's important. Um, what's that unlock? Oh, okay, yeah. So the unlock is tomorrow. So don't go all in, right? Do not go. It's 1.5% of the supply, and yeah. So again, that's 749 million Miria tokens coming into the market, as well as the daily node releases, right? So yeah, if you're gonna buy Miria, just wait till tomorrow, I would say, and take advantage of that. But yeah, nevertheless, I think it will do well. I still believe that 30 cents is the ceiling price for Miria in this bull market, right? So 30 cents would be the potential. What is it now? 3 cents? Is it 3 cents? No, it's 30% of a penny right now. Yeah. So if you're looking at, you know, let's have a look. Yeah, you could potentially do incredible numbers on it. 20 to 30 cents. I mean, 30 cents will be incredible from this point, because that would represent ridiculous amount of money. Brother Ham said SPA, ALF, ML, G Swift, GFAL, CITES, Corpo, Next, Nexa, Bodo. Okay, so yeah, decent choice there. I think so let's have a look at ML, because Mint Layer Mint Layer is probably the most divisive subject of this cycle. You either love it, or you either invest in it and you absolutely hate it. But if you look at this, let's have a look at Mint Layer. So will this be break of the curse? We don't know yet. And there is an unlock on the 22nd of July. You had this massive, monumental downward trend. Okay. I'd like to see another candle, a strong candle close above that, and probably say weekly as well. I mean, yeah, you can see here, it's not really that strong of a trend at the moment. So we can't just raise our hopes just yet, but at least on the daily chart, you can see here it has significantly broken that massive downtrend. Having said that, today it has performed possibly the best out of all of the cryptos that we hold. So yeah, you've got a decent list there, brother. I do like it. Yeah, Patriot is. By the way, it's 100% APR. SPA, brother. I never really understood this token, but we always talk about this, and I think the bullish aspects are, look, $11 million in market cap. It is a DeFi play. The chart looks absolutely stinking, right? No one in their right frame of mind will consider a chart like that. Having said that, this is on Coinbase and had a Coinbase listing, right? So it is. I mean, listen. Like I told you many, many times before, on the Arbitrum side of things, this could be bullish. This could be bullish. I mean, bearing in mind of the chart. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to you, brother, for sticking to your guns. For USDC. Yep. I got you, brother. Look, it's a decent project. You don't get a Coinbase listing if you're obviously if you're suspect. So yeah, they must be doing something right. Yeah, literally going to be priceless. I think that's a life-changing look. You put a decent amount as well. For me, I think that was possibly the buy of the round, buy of the century, in my opinion. I still believe if you can get up to 1,000 or 500 Maavia, I still think you do well. But yeah, I mean, definitely it's a generational buy, man. This thing is going to be, look, all you have to do is ask yourself, could that price action be at $100, 50 to $100, right? And the answer is yes. I mean, the estimates for, or the comparison for Axie, and I think it was Sandbox. So if we take if we take $6 to $10 billion in market cap, right, or anywhere in between, you're printing. It is something that's going to be. We're going to talk about it in the bear market. Guys, smash a like. There's a lot of us here. Yeah, what up, Mr. Ahmed? Hope you're well. Hope you're doing well. Great to see you, brother. Storing Marvio on Tangent. I only see on ETH network and not base. Yes, it is on base. I actually. Am I holding? Actually, you might be right. I might be holding it on. Okay, so it's actually on the Mexi side. That's the problem, right? So at the moment, yes, I'm actually holding mine. No, actually, I'm holding mine on base. Yeah, I'm definitely holding mine on base. So when you go to manage tokens, right, and then then it will give you the two networks. But as much as I can, I'm actually holding most of these tokens on base and nothing else. So Marvia should be on base, on managed tokens. And Carrot is running as well. Carrot was another one that we talked about, guys, which is doing pretty well. So yeah, let me know in Belta if you sort that little problem out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, click on Marvia, switch to base. Yep. What up, Sam? In the building. Okay. If you still have the ETH option, then the problem is different, right? What you got to do is go to your phone, right, and then go to the App Store. Once you go to the App Store, you just pick up Tangent, right, and then you just pick up Tangent and you hold it a little bit, and it will give you an opportunity to refresh if there's a later update, right? So you just have to update Tangent Wallet, and you're good. Big up the biggest DGen. What up, Cliff? How are you, brother? Yeah, we're gonna have to bring you on, man. DXP people are having a hard time believing that the correction in this cycle and the COVID dump. Yep, most people are receiving their BTC one. Absolutely, and listen, again, I love that, and let's have a look at Mount Gox BTC, right? So you've got an incredible amount of Bitcoin, obviously, that is from Mount Gox, and the estimates are quite wild. But what people don't take into consideration as well, these are all OGs, right? Now, of course, there will be some selling pressure. I mean, I'm not saying we're out of the chop for sure. We may chop, slice, and dice. We could see crazy correction. So far, we are 24% corrected, right? So this is not a plain sailing by any stretch of the imagination. The summer is going to be long. The summer is going to be tough. Your emotions will be played with, but I hope you just mark out your winners. That's all you have to do. Oh, I'm gonna have him on here in a minute, and he can answer that, man. Kick the donkey. Yeah, no, donkey's is an absolute legend, man. Beast of a beast. I would say would you like a government mule? Talking about government mules, we've got a Labour government for the first time in many years. Sir Keir Starmer has won the elections, and yeah, we've got a new prime minister, man. So yeah, I mean, is he going to be crypto friendly? Absolutely not. He's probably going to take everyone back to those Tesco yellow labels. But you know, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, so Keir Starmer is the new prime minister. But listen, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about crypto, right? We want to talk about crypto, man. Who's in your NBA team? Who's your NBA team? Yeah, I'm sure you're probably talking to the guys. I mean, for me, brother, Jumpman is probably the Jumpman's team from years ago, right? Old school NBA. Yeah, Pi Pi is, you know, a shout out to the Jumpman as well for throwing me a nice little nugget. I mean, listen, man, Day Day, Pi Pi. I mean, this was like down quite nicely. Probably the best time to go in would have been that June low, June 28th. But yeah, now obviously it's running $82 million in market cap. Could it do more? I don't know. All this soccer makes me want to go and buy gold and silver. by the way, in the US, obviously, soccer is a female sport, right? Thoughts on ZK Sync? Yeah, look, my general thoughts are on these big projects. I don't really get interested in them, if I'm being honest, unless they are, look, it's not a market cap thing alone, because this is a supreme project. But I was more interested in buying ZK Sync, or ZK Finance, or ZF, than something like, that came out fully diluted $3.4 billion. I'm sure. Listen, zero knowledge technology is incredible, but from a investment standpoint, maybe I'll come back in the next bear market, and this would be one of the ones that I look at. Another interesting one is Layer Zero. You know, ZRO, again, decent market cap, huge project, massive launch, and yeah, this one a little bit smaller at $400 million in market cap. The lows came in here, and obviously before that, still has very high inflation, I believe, if I'm correct. Yeah, so 100 million circulating supply. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I'd rather buy something maybe a bit more lower market cap, painted with red and white. What up, Jake? Jake in the building, man. Hope you well. Hope you are doing well. Um, brothers are talking. Let's go through these. If this cycle is shorter, then that means we just get rich faster. Absolute legend. Yeah, man. CF gonna fly when has it. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt, man. Not sure why, but okay. Can't seem to find base on Tangent. Only ETH option. Have you got your tokens in there? Because if you don't, I would probably say remove the Marvia from Tangent, and then re-add it. You should be fine. Yeah, smart to take profits. Absolutely. Yeah, totally, man. Spot on, brother. Big pumps. Then dump again. Listen, this is what we're getting used to. Yeah, experts. Yeah, I've seen it. Less than a million now. Can be a 50x. Yeah, I think the pre-sale I saw. What was the ticker? Oh yeah, EX. Let's have a look at this. I mean, this came out very recently on the BNB chain. I think, yeah, we posted the decent, yeah, I think decent low cap for sure. Looks quality as well. A lot of people got into the pre-sale, especially I think even in our group. Decent. Boom, boom. Yo, chiller. Let's talk about ZF. Listen, guys, I'm gonna do what I have to do. I think I'm gonna bring some of you guys on. Cliff is waiting as well, if he's around. So we'll go through the last few questions. Patriot, if you're on it, let me catch up to all of these. Yo, bro, what's going on? Oh, Friday. That's a very good question, bro. I can't really disclose that live on air, but let's just say I was no spring chicken. That's 100x. Yeah, potentially. I mean, look where it is right now. I think if it gets to a decent market cap, it could potentially go to maximum of that. But of course, as we know, you know, Louis said lots of normies don't know about crypto. Yeah, you never know. It could get to that. Let's see. All right, guys, listen, we're gonna switch things up a little bit because we're not obviously. This is a slightly different show to the most of the YouTubers that you are used to. So I'm gonna send out an invite and on StreamYard in the comments. Yeah, come on, let's have a chat. Let's talk a little bit. Yeah, Carl said cornucopias, copy. I actually own a little bit of copy, but lately I haven't actually tracked it. And decent, I like it. Guys, is anyone up for a little chat? If you are, please grab the mic. Oh, terrible. Yeah, potentially, brother. I haven't even seen it, to be honest. But definitely could be, yeah. Yeah, listen, copy right now. I mean, this was at $70 million in market cap recently. So yeah, guys, look, let's switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna put if Patriot or Cliff or Gareth or anybody is around, grab the mic. Let's have a discussion. You don't have to put your cameras on, but let's switch up the show. And in the meantime, please revel in the glory that is that is England winning the match, right? England winning the Euros. Try to buy one. I wish you did, brother. That's yeah, that's listen, that would have been a nice that would have been a nice savings account right now. Guys, Donkey Kong can't come on because obviously he is absolutely bare chested, but I do have a legend that's about to spill some beans. And let me set the stage for him. We're gonna talk to him about crypto. We're gonna talk to him about the cycle as well. And then we're gonna switch over to some breaking news, some key alpha. My brother, Mr. Cliff, the head of global business development at Dynex, Resident Evil, watches the Crystal Maze on the weekends.
How you doing?
Fan. Yeah, not too bad, bro. I know we had some secrets to talk about, and I just saw the chat the other day, and silly me, I started to read them out loud as I do. I think I could do with some moderation here with the guys, but yeah, should we start? Look, before we go to the alpha, let's go to this chart that you're seeing right now. most people are freaking out, and they are kind of almost leaving crypto, as you saw this week. And influencers are taking advantage, because one of the biggest issues, I mean, I saw a guy who has over, I don't know how many followers on X, say that he's left crypto for now. Very responsible engagement farming. But when you look at something like this, where do you see the cycle? Are we still intact for a traditional cycle in your vast experience of being in this
I
space?
mean, so this one's probably going to be different, right? We know for the first time in its history, we've got ETFs involved, right? We've got actual institutional money in Bitcoin. Possibly by the time the bull cycle actually hits, we might probably end up with an Ethereum and a Solana one as well to boot. So, I mean, quite honestly, this is a little uncharted waters. Do I think we'll see a big like super cycle like we did, say, DeFi 2020? That's the biggest unknown, right? Like, I'd love another big super cycle. Like, we were on course for that pretty much before the ETF started, right? Everything was saying that it was gearing up to be a really good one. But the unknown right now is ETFs, right? They've obviously bought up nice and early with the same thought as everyone else. Oh, look, super cycle coming up. Let's get it in now, even while it's been at its highest point, right? So it'd be really interesting to see actually where it pans out. I'd love to see it go on an absolute tear, though. Like, historically, we're right in that sweet spot. Like right now, we're right in that sweet spot. That little pullback before it absolutely takes off. Usually, historically, around September, October time, right, is when we used to start seeing it pick up some traction, and then usually sort of really peak out around sort of December, January time.
Right. So this is, I mean, looking at that, I mean, I tend to agree with you, man, because look, the issue is I tweeted something today saying to people, look, we get happy with 15%, and not across the portfolio, by the way, individual projects. And we feel like for the first time in a while, we can go out, crypto dictates our emotions. Everyone's refreshing that portfolio, and it's not a healthy thing to do. I mean, do you think we'll have more selling pressure if you consider? I mean, I personally don't think this is gonna, play out as much as people
I'm actually
think.
looking forward to seeing how much I get back, because I got tied up in all of that. So yeah, I got tied up in all of that. That was my first introduction to never leaving like too much on an exchange. That was, a lot of people's experience with that is like, FTX, Celsius, that kind of thing, right? Mine's MT Gox, right? So that's how far I've been in Bitcoin for, right? You can already see it that if you actually scroll to the right, it actually shows you what the price of Bitcoin was when they went bankrupt, right?
Oh, look at this.
Needless to say, my capital gains tax on this thing is going to be horrid, right? Because that's really early Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to the tax implications, but it would be nice to see how much I get back of the quite substantial Bitcoin that I got sat on it.
I'll see you in Dubai, brother.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, where's mine? Here's mine. I got it.
That's the
even branded Dynex. Look at that.
Wow, let's bring that into picture again.
Oh, hang on, I might need to unblur my background a minute. Hang on. There you go.
Guys, a giveaway. What do you think? Dynex branded one.
What with the amount of Dynex that's on it as well? Is that?
Oh man, that is super interesting. So look, I didn't actually realize that. Obviously, you was impacted by this, but I would say, are they giving back in today's kind of of course, market prices. Because I know, for example, FTX had
I
a
mean,
payment.
quite honestly,
Mm,
I quite honestly, I wrote it off a long time ago, right? I never
mm,
thought that it would ever get dealt with, ever, to be fair, because there was so much problems, legal things around that. It was a Chinese company having a load of other countries' money. It was just a legal minefield, right? To have to deal
right.
with all of that. So when I got an email the other week saying that potentially there's some to come back to me, I was pleasantly surprised.
So is this the last time we ever see you in Dynex? Because obviously, at today's prices, at
No,
Bitcoin,
no,
and especially, I mean, that was what, 50 cents to a dollar? I mean, here they say a
it was like
value of
400.
zero.
Yeah, I mean, it was really low when I had my Bitcoin on MT Gox.
It
Like,
must have been about a dollar. Come on. Bigger than, Cliff, bigger than Da Vinci Jeremy. You'd come
well,
back and bring out an old video of you saying, buy Bitcoin.
funny you should mention that, right? Did you ever see a small like image floating around of somebody who bought some Bitcoin back in 2011? And they paid with a little like front end PayPal shop. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right, right,
remember
right,
that
right.
site. I remember that site. That's how far it goes back for me. Like, yeah, yeah. Like,
Brilliant, brilliant. I
if I get
mean,
any of
look,
it back, I'll be very surprised, right? Even a couple of Bitcoin would still be a nice little return, right? I had more than a couple of Bitcoin on MT Gox, so it really taught me a lesson. It really taught me a valuable lesson, especially when you see the price now, right, compared to what it was back then.
well, you
And
only need about four of them.
it would have been well, it was double digits worth of Bitcoin on MT Gox. So yeah, it's not
So look,
nice,
but here's the question though. I've got this feeling that people like yourselves, the OGs, they understand where Bitcoin is going. When you look at the miners capitulation event, the Bitcoin halving, the fact that obviously when you were buying that, Bitcoin was mined at home, even. So I don't really
yeah.
see the sell pressure as much as these people are saying.
I think
Everybody
there'll be
who's
some sell pressure because there'll be a
mm,
few people that go, "Oh wow, I had thousands of Bitcoin on there," because at the time they were only valued at like $450, right? So of
right.
course, now they're valued at a lot more than that. Now people might turn around and go, "Actually, I want to just get out. I've forgotten all about it. I have no interest. Like I just want out." Um, you know, yeah. I
Well,
just
listen,
think
don't
that
forget.
myself.
Don't forget your people. There's a saying that's do not forget where you came from.
No, like I say, the one thing that I've for me, Bitcoin was never about me and my wife. The altcoins and my other coins that I'm into are for me and the wife. But Bitcoin was always meant for my kids and my grandkids.
Right.
I've got a big family. I've got 4 adopted kids and 9 grandkids, man. It's an expensive Christmas, right? It's an expensive Christmas.
Well, how many
But,
turkeys you getting?
uh,
6?
well, I mean, the worst bit is the eldest grandkid is now old enough for his own kids, right? Like, that's the scary bit. That's the really scary bit for me. Like, but yeah,
Wow.
like I got 4 wonderful adopted kids and yeah, and a very large amount of grandkids.
Listen, they'll
They're,
all be
and
looked
they're all
after. I mean,
and they've all got crypto for the future, right? That was my one gift to them is to leave them some crypto for the future.
well,
So
listen, if this thing is programmed like I think it's going to happen to $1 million,
I could see
you
it finally reaching it one day. Absolutely.
absolutely think of the next halving. I mean,
Yeah.
who's going to be able to
As it
mine
gets
this
more
thing?
and more scarce as well, like that's when it really gets its value, right? Once all that minting's done, that's where it becomes just pure raw an asset and an asset only, right? a lot of people
Wow.
call it digital gold. It's not far from the truth, right?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Listen, let's segue into the exclusive that became a bit of a obvious. What have we got?
Yeah,
By the way,
you were a
before we
little
go,
you was a
before we
little
go,
what's that?
congratulations, brother, because
Thank
this
you.
community is brilliant. The Lion is a true Aussie. You know, he's a legend in our group, and obviously he's wishing you his well wishes, and yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean,
generational wealth, man.
realistically, right? That's the best way to form generational wealth. Start nice and early.
Belter said you're a blessed grandfather.
Oh, I guarantee like the kids love us. We always treat them and they get spoiled by me, you know.
Brilliant. Good stuff. So what have you got for us? Exclusive.
Well, there's a little bit more maybe I could drop that you haven't even heard yet. I
All
mean,
right, let's do it.
if you want.
Let's go.
Yeah. So obviously in the last week it's been manic, right? You've seen the news, right? So we announced our first actual customers that are going to be actually doing peer reviews, endorsements, the whole push, right, for the adoption that we were talking about last time, right?
Right.
Sam was able to bring in one of his connections in Jordan, or no, they might be actually Saudi Arabian actually, but it's definitely a Middle Eastern company. They're going to be starting to use Dynex for architectural work, which is really cool and a completely new concept that we haven't tried yet. So I'm always open to a new concept idea, right? That there, by the way, that post by Mick Crow, there's like no one below it. That picture shows you everything that's gone on in the last 3 weeks. Nothing like keeping up a relatively ridiculous pace, right? So, but this, and that's there you go, down in the bottom right hand corner, the Afnia Corporation. They're a really big like building firm. So they're going to be using them. And then yesterday another one was announced, which are going to be starting to use Dynex as well. So yeah, you'll probably see it just coming down a bit lower. You won't miss it because we made a really big, like, oh yeah, there's the Crypto Olympics starting.
By the way, we're
currently top, by the way, so we're doing good. Yeah.
Wow, some of these moving slightly moving like Linford Christie, Dynex over there.
No, damn, there's a name from the past. But yeah, like they are resilient. They are.
Oh, this is it.
Yep. Okay. They've already started posting up on places like LinkedIn, their social medias and such, that they're going to start using Dynex. So, but that, like I say, the bit of alpha that I showed you the other day, obviously, was the multi-vehicle routing problem. So take multiple vehicles and then, route the optimal pattern. Well, I believe it's just below that one that you're looking at.
Let me
a bit further down.
It's all. I mean, it is all kicking off here at Dynex. Yeah. So talk to us about this. I mean, I've seen, obviously, I told you the staff scheduling could actually look. When we spoke to Tarek at Octaspace, the interesting thing was the in-house solutions, instead of going to multiple different cryptocurrencies. And I think what this is exactly what makes crypto difficult for people, right? The ability to provide a solution. So you go to one place, and we're trying to actually solve real world issues here, right? So I really love this, but just in your own words, I mean, what are we trying to do here?
So you've got one. So the scenario is you've got one depot, right? 4 vehicles, and I believe that's set to 60 locations, if I remember rightly on that picture. Yeah. So how do you optimize a route so that all 4 vehicles go the shortest relevant distance, so not to burn excess fuel, to be the quickest route possible, taking into regard speed restrictions on the roads. You could even potentially down the road feed in live traffic data and have that recalculate on the fly. There's every potential. But we just wanted to show, really, we'd done already what's called the traveling sales problem, right? That's take a number of points on a map and work out the optimal route to take, right? Well, now this is a multiple traveling sales problem. I just went ridiculous with it. But there's a good reason for that, right? So I announced it to my staff and Dynex staff. I'm effectively semi-retiring from active coding on development. I'm pretty much full on these days with Dynex management stuff. So for me, I've done 20 years of coding now on as a actual 9-to-5 job. So it's nice to be able to say that I'm going to take a step back a bit, not do coding as frequent, and actually do the more managerial stuff. So this one and the event scheduler for staffing schedules.
Well, right? That's another interesting one. But just before we skip this one, so you can see here you're using the Dynex, basically the solver. You're picking the Dynex quantum computing to do this.
Yeah.
Is that
so the way it works is that it's technically 4 individual jobs, right? Each one of the vehicles is another job. It's just I run them in parallel so that they all run at the exact same time and they all finish at the exact same time.
Yeah, that's incredible, man.
Yeah, and then obviously the second one was the staff scheduler, right? So this is like where it gets really surprisingly, going full on with what we can do, right? So you can see all the different variables, right? So there's 12 employees. The max number of concurrent consecutive shifts that it can do is 5, right? Shifts per employee can be up to 7, but a minimum of 5, right? There's a whole bunch of variables, right?
Right.
And then optimize me a staff scheduler that tells me what the next rotation of shifts should be for an entire, that was basically for a 30-day window, basically. No, actually, it might be 2 weeks. Actually.
So is this done with the quantum computing? Is there machine learning involved as well to predict?
No, it's not. So this doesn't use machine learning per se, right? It uses Cubo, which is a optimization of a problem type scenario, right? So figuring out the employees that should be on staff so that there's no single person being overworked or anything like that, right? Basically that's an optimization problem, and that's somewhere where really Dynex shines. That's why the multi-vehicle routing problem is so ridiculously efficient on Dynex, right? Because it's an optimization problem, and optimization problems are really, really good in a quantum environment.
Wow. So will this go to the corporate side as well?
Yeah, absolutely. There's already somebody that's already looking at our workforce scheduling demo to work on their own version, which is kind of cool already that somebody's looking into that. But the big one is the multi-vehicle routing problem, right? We've been talking to a couple of logistics companies, and the first thing they said was, can you do better optimization of our routes than what our systems already do? And they take hours to run these things, hours. Our multi-vehicle takes less than a minute. And I can crank that all the way up to like 20 vehicles with 100 different locations, and it'll still finish in under a minute. It's just mind-baffling how efficient it becomes with larger data sets like that. So it really is fun. But yeah, these were my 2 final sort of my parting gifts to Dynex as a full-time dev. So,
this is before you move upstairs full-time. basically. Because I think obviously you going back to Nasdaq and
yeah, I'm still going to
you
be
know,
doing, crypto and interviews and AMAs. It's just I'm not going to be doing any day-to-day sort of development. If I want to do something that really sort of catches my eye, or I think that could be a real benefit, then absolutely. But my whole plan is to scale back doing the 18 hours of development every day. 20 years has took its toll on me a little bit. My wrists are sore, my hands are all messed up, my fingertips have no feeling in them after beating them on a keyboard for 20 years. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's time
it's
to
just, it's time
Bitcoin's coming
to,
back
to relax a little
into
bit,
the
right?
wallet. Mt. Gox is paying. Listen, what a great time to be alive. But listen, you deserve this comment, bro, because again, our good friend Discipline said after watching you on Tarek the other day, he's a believer in terms of investing in projects which have solid people behind it. And I think this is something that
I think this cycle, more people are going to be down that path as well. Like last cycle was a lot of degen plays with all the DeFi sort of stuff, right? Everyone was jumping in on it. It was a hot topic. NFTs were a hot topic. This time I can see it really being the hot topic is projects with an actual fundamental underpinning to them.
Absolutely, bro. What else have you got for us? Because I know in the world of Dynex, so we're gonna keep you in Dynex for a minute.
Never slows down, believe you me. So
look, we will get your absolute, because I think, listen, the fact that you are obviously a crypto OG, the fact that obviously you have some key opinions, and especially the knowledge of certain projects that we will always ask you about. I think the reason I want to keep you in Dynex is because of the announcements that I've been seeing, especially on X, even on CoinMarketCap as well. Several different things coming up. People are talking about Dynex a lot more. And I had a comment today. Somebody was saying to me how I think yourselves and Octaspace have really, really embraced the way you market. Since you came on board, it was clear, because we always talk about privately your video in Austria, which led to my first ever video on Dynex. And
led me then to basically reach out to you as well.
Absolutely, and other videos you've done about Flux and reaching out to them and that type of thing. So, what else have you got for us? What are you cooking?
Well, I mean, so coming up next month, Dynex is going to be in Mexico, doing a 1.5 hour pitch of Dynex to a lot of people, including some very high end companies, and they've got their own equivalent of Silicon Valley, right, down in Mexico. I don't know if you know this, but neither did I until I found out. But they've got their own version of Silicon Valley down in Mexico, and we're going to be doing a full 1.5 hour pitch to all of those companies down there. Our actual co-founder Danny is actually flying down there.
Wow.
So, and then I'll be doing a half hour AMA with them all at the end. So nothing like throwing myself into the deep end, right?
Well, it's it is something that you've been doing, but I think if you're taking more of those roles, and obviously less of the developing, that's also going to free your time up.
I mean, the other one is well, there's one other one as well so that was an X Space yesterday, talking about machine learning, AI. So obviously I was there for Dynex. Tariq was there for Octa. Really interesting one. We had some technical issues with X Spaces. They're a little bit hit and miss sometimes. So right. There's it was good fun though. There was some really cool projects and what they're working on, right? But obviously got to always remember there's a big difference between saying and doing, in my view. Right.
Well, apparently Germany are buying back the crypto there. So, Rafa just
they're just smart business banking, business and banking, right? Like, of course they're buying back in. They've just seen it dip like 15%. Of course they're going to buy back in, because as soon as it goes back up, they make a fortune.
Well, this is all. Listen, this is all playing into our hands. I'll just see if there's any questions for you, because I have a bit more to ask you on Dynex, and then we'll.
No, I mean, we don't have to just talk Dynex, but
well, the last one I had for you about Dynex is
now, I've got a question for you. Are you planning on maybe attending Token 2049 over in Singapore?
I am,
because I think you should. I think you really should.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're going to see each other in Dubai anyway, because there's also
Blockchain Life,
which I think it's going to be
October time, right? If I remember rightly.
October, yeah. So we'll see each other in Dubai and then in Singapore as well. I think the chance is going to be great to catch up and just to network with your people as well, which is going to be great. Let's see if I've got. Oh, okay. I have one for you. So we'll probably do another installment with you and Tarek.
Sure. I really enjoy having a good chat with Tariq anyway, because you saw the other AMA with the pair of us, right? I think it was like 2.5 hours, and we were still ready to go for another hour at the end of it. Like even
the other night, you know, when we finished, we just went backstage and continued for another 40 minutes.
You could see but you could see just how much our enthusiasm to work together is as well, right? You were able to see it for yourself. Like, that's the one thing that Dynex and Optus partnership really is, right? It's like a proper backwards and forwards like conversation. It's not just all one direction. We bounce ideas off each other. You know, if I've got something that I need to consider perhaps rendering on Okta afterwards, you know, like, I'm very keen on delving into that whole post-processing on Okta idea, right? It seems the logical next step to try when it comes to that kind of partnership, right? We do the heavy lifting on the quantum side, and we do the rendering out on Okta's side. I really do think it's a perfect match at that point. So
these guys are legends, by the way. Some of these comments are wild.
That's the one thing I'll give your community, man. At least they know how to have some fun, right? It's not all just, you know, what's the trading analysis? When is this one going to 100x? It's not all about that, right? There's actually some fun with it, which is why I enjoy coming back, right?
The banter here is endless, man. Matriarch Donkey.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I did. I'll
tell you what. With all your guys talking about Casper in there, right? I had a great time over in Miami with the Casper lot.
Let's talk about Casper.
They were good fun.
Because a lot of
they know how to throw a good after party. By the way, if you ever get invited, they know how to throw a good after party.
Oh, they know how to with all that. Well, not money, because it's fair launch, right? So yeah, with the price action of Casper, I mean, right now 17 cents. And you know, the sad thing is, you know, I remember buying 100K Casper for 500 quid, 600 quid, dollars. And,
I mean. So I got into Casper February 23, I think it was. So it was really low.
Super early, yeah. It was around here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just before it did its first little bit of a pump. And we were all raving about that, thinking that might be it. Like, that might be its ultimate top. And then it just kept on going and going and going and going. And I was just like, oh my God, it's like not bad. Like,
where did you see the forks? Because a few months ago, the likes of Carlson, and there were tons of Casper forks that just came out.
Yeah, I mean, we see this every cycle though, right? So if you look at the Bitcoin cycles, right, we saw off the very first one, we saw Litecoin appear from it. We saw Dogecoin appear from it, Peercoin. The next one, it was basically Bitcoin Cash, a whole bunch of different Bitcoin ones that went straight mooning in the first day and went straight down the way of the dinosaur the next one. But like Coulson, I actually audited the first day it came out. Right. If you actually look on the Yeti audit site, literally the audit date is the day Coulson launched main chain.
It is. I mean, look,
I actually spoke to the dev personally. Like, I reached out to them and said, look, done an audit. Here's what's come back. There was something that was obviously matching on the Gen key pair, which was like to do with obviously keylogin. Now, we couldn't actually diagnose that as a keylogger. It could just be the way that it was doing its generative randomness by randomly triggering keys, which is always never the best way to do it. But unfortunately, Coulson, Pirin, all of these Casper ones, right? They're all getting hammered on a regular basis. Pirin's at least managing a little better. I think that's because Pirin has a bit more of a dev team available to it than Coulson. From last time I spoke to the Coulson people, like there wasn't many that were doing the dev work, right? They're a bit short staffed. So Pirin's got a few more staff, and
Well, where do you see
what usually happens though, right? You know this. It usually comes down to how good the staff are as well, right? Casper, the reason why it does so well is because their staff is like as good as ours. Like they know what they're doing. They know what the brief is, right? And they don't stop working.
Well, here's a funny one. So I've seen a lot of not FUD, but there's a link between Casper, Casware Wallet, KRC20, Meme Casino.
Yeah, right? I mean, the problem is to scale the way that they did to be able to test, even if this could manage it, a testnet wasn't even going to give them the appropriate data. So they had to try it on main chain, right? It's always a dangerous option, testing anything main chain, right? Dynex found out the hard way. Casper found out the hard way. A lot of them do find out the hard way that testing things live in that environment can get a bit treacherous at times, right? Just because you're at the point where one wrong move, one miscalculation, right? One bottleneck, and everything comes grinding to a halt, right? And thankfully, Casper's main chain didn't actually grind to a halt, right? Because that would have been devastating, right? That would have been really devastating if Casper's main chain had ground to a halt, right? Because of it. So it wasn't that was the problem. It was just the amount of people that were trying to set up. They severely underestimated how many people wanted to open up their own tokens, like severely messed up, like by a factor of 10 that they messed up, right? Wow. Now they've admitted that. They've admitted they underestimated what was going to happen,
what the Casware situation was going to be.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
but
for
I
now anyway,
they are they've slowly got most of the bottleneck under control now. There's still some bottlenecking, but they're getting it under control, which is why you'll probably see quite a few updates over the next week while they just iron out those bumps in the road, right? Dynex has had that point about October last year. We had a couple of bumps in the road where we released something and we were expecting one thing, something completely different happened. We then had obviously some really big issues that we needed to get, and
Well, brilliant question here from the Lion.
Wow. Now we're getting deep.
Now we're talking.
We're getting deep. So quantum noise in a physical sense would absolutely be a big deal, right? Because that throws out variances because you're talking energy states, right? When it comes to neuromorphic quantum, or what Dynex is doing, right, and quantum, You remove that quantum noise because there is no physical machine. We're emulating a quantum machine that then can simulate quantum algorithms, right? So we also benefit by using neuromorphic type networks. The problem for error correcting in general, neuromorphic doesn't come with error correcting needed, but a decentralized quantum system definitely does, because somebody can turn their rig off halfway through a calculation, and if we don't have our own version of quantum error correcting, then we would have incorrect data. We've had that in the past, right, where we didn't have that quite dialed in right, and we were getting errors coming back, right, and we were wondering why, and then we were having to up the annealing time, and then it's like, well, now it's more expensive to do that because we're having to extra anneal. So we dug around, we figured it out, we dug around and realized that actually, high level amounts of that type of compute is going to need a good 10% cover on every job. So now you'll see it, like if it's 50,000 GPUs that were requested, for example, it'll now bring on 60,000 just to be on the safe side. That way the job can always complete, it's always accurate, and it's and it finishes just the same. Those machines just sit there idle, waiting for the job to start if they're needed. So,
wow.
But yeah,
brilliant. I mean, I knew straight where to go on the website, by the way, because I did a bit of research on this. Brilliant stuff.
yeah.
So, launch of Kai Network. So he thinks, when Kai Network is what? Look, like you said the other day, I love the questions, because the truth of the matter will be Kai will never be on a AMA or at a public forum tackling these questions, right? And,
no, I mean, I want all different types of projects
aspects,
to actually succeed, right? The more different products and projects that are out there, the more it shows what blockchain can really be, right? Because blockchain is not just currency. Blockchain is not just currency. Like, for example, we're showing that it can be done for another thing, right? That being quantum. Okta's using blockchain for a very different thing, right? They're doing, node infrastructure to do rendering. And then there's obviously people that are doing decentralized games that are fully on the blockchain, right? We're not talking all just currency now. And that's where blockchain is maturing, right? Because if blockchain was just currency, I don't think it would have succeeded.
Not at all. And I think oh, look, we've got a special guest in the building as well. Let me bring this legend.
What's up, fellas?
The building. What is going on,
Mr.
brother?
Cliff.
How are you?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Hey, I learned how they give you a back screen. Look at that. I'm in my car once again, but it looks like I'm in a brick jail cell.
Well, normally I just have the big Yeti flag on sign, right?
Yeah. How's everybody going?
Yeah, not bad.
Great to have you, man.
I had to come on just because we got to give Mr. Donkey Dong a problem. He seems to think Casper is just complete crap and it's going to go nowhere. I was kind of hoping Cliff may be able to shed a little bit of light on him, but he was already doing it. It just took me forever to get on. Caveman does what caveman does.
No, I mean, so Casper is their whole ethos is that they are a bigger, better, faster Bitcoin, right? That's effectively what it is. They're attempting to solve the biggest problem if you're using blockchain for crypto, as in cryptocurrency. Then that trilemma problem was already part of the whole Ethereum white paper, right? If you look at the Ethereum white paper, it mentions GoStack, right? It's not something that is effectively new. It's just that they truly are the first to manage to actually succeed in making one. And there's a reason why Casper has so many forks now, because the technology is scalable. it's a hell of a lot more scalable than Bitcoin is. And the way I look at it is that if Bitcoin launched today, do you think it would ever make the money that it currently makes?
Probably not.
It's 10 minutes a block. It's super expensive, right? There are much better things that are out there now, much faster, much cheaper. It's the same with Ethereum, right? If Ethereum wasn't that effectively number 2 and it released today, do you think it would do as well? I don't think so, right?
No,
because
especially how expensive it is to use.
Fees alone are horrid.
Yes. Yeah, I'm this is the first, so this is basically my 3rd cycle. First time that I'm actually using wallets. I just kept everything on like Coinbase and Uphold before,
so,
right?
I mean,
so yeah, the fees kill you.
How many cycles you done now, DXB? Was this your number 3? Is this your 3rd one?
3rd one, yeah.
Oh, so you're pretty much similar to me then, right? You've done as many cycles.
3rd full cycle.
Like most cycles, we see one bit of technology usually sort of rise to the top, right? The first cycle was Bitcoin. The second sign was Ethereum, right?
Last cycle.
And now we're sort of seeing a very different outcome, though, right? We're seeing more than one come to the top this time. Actually, probably 10, if not more, have risen to the top to show that there's something different other than just currency. I mean, don't get me wrong, Casper is that currency aspect of it, but there are now so many projects actually working on unique reasons why a blockchain should exist. Because I'm all for the technology, but not just at the sake of, let's throw out everything we can get and see which sticks, because that's really the wrong approach in any kind of development, right?
Right.
But how many Casper forks have we seen, right? Generally, a fork will never outdo
the original
main chain, right? Everything that was an Ethereum fork, is anything doing better than Ethereum that was already an Ethereum fork?
No.
Right? Is there a Bitcoin fork that's actually outperforming Bitcoin?
No, it never was.
Because it's number 1. So, is there a Casper one that's outperforming Casper over the long term? I don't think so. Time will tell. Maybe there'll be one that bucks the trend, but in general, right? When forks are made, and I mean, bear in mind, Ethereum was actually the very first to buck that trend, because Ethereum Classic is the original chain, not Ethereum.
Right.
Ethereum Classic is the original chain. Because
Classic is the one I usually trade on because it moves fast.
No, there's a massive DAO hack. Ethereum rolled theirs back and undid the damages, right? Because it was mega money. Ethereum Classic said, no, the integrity of the blockchain, the hack has to stand. That was when Ethereum finally took a stance that if there was ever going to be something like that monumental hack, they would step in and roll back their chain if they had to, because of the amount of money that was involved. It was like hundreds of millions. It was ridiculous size money. And so Ethereum Classic was born out of the fact that there was now 2 groups in the Ethereum group where there were different ideologies, right? So Ethereum Classic was born out of the main original chain. Without
Ethereum Classic is still basically a proof of work then, correct?
No, yes, it is. Yes,
yeah, okay,
it actually has plans to potentially look at that, but they've also announced recently that they changed their mind and would like to stay proof of work, which is kind of cool. That the original chain stayed proof of work.
Original,
right?
Yeah. I did put on this dip. I put 50,000 AI Tech and 20,000 Casper into Mavia. But I did put 30,000 Casper into DNX.
Nice.
Wow.
So
nice. I dare not look at what my buy orders and sell orders are like at the moment. It usually is terrible.
Yeah. Well, I'm out. I've sold everything. I've crashed emergency funds. So the only thing I could do now is just I got such a big bag of Casper. It's the only thing I can do. I can only get rid of Casper to buy other things.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I got in nice and early with Casper. I saw its potential. My friend,
I got in like right under a nickel.
My friend,
I know
Rick
y'all were earlier than me. I know that.
Super early, like ridiculously early.
Yeah, like 0.00 something.
Oh yeah, it was like not even a penny at that point. He was in so early, and he was mining it before ASICs, before FPGAs. He was mining them on like a really terrible GPU at that point. So he was earning bank on that. He was earning like a couple of thousand a week. Well, every day at one point. He was on the first 10 blocks of their main chain.
Well, I know my plan is to next bear market to try to get some kind of mine. I don't know. I know nothing. I'm a caveman. I know nothing about mining, but I would like to get some, whatever you do, whatever they are. I don't know. And mine Casper. But that's
I mean, Casper mining is definitely something that can be quite profitable, to be fair. Like, the funniest thing is one of the Dynex staff actually won a Casper miner at the Casper event. Like, couldn't write that. Couldn't write that. He walked up with a Dynex t-shirt on and everything, right? I was just like, oh man, here we go, getting laughed at and everything. It's good fun though. Like they saw the funny side, but like, but Casper, like miners, if you're gonna get into it, really depends on how much you want to spend, like on hardware, because ASICs can get really expensive really fast, right?
Well, I'm not one of those idiots that's going to go buy a Lambo and a boat. I'll buy another F-250 and I'm good. You
probably don't want to go be spending 30 grand on an ASIC for your first purchase, though, realistically, unless you're really going to go baller and just throw it all of it. Like I know one guy who did. He did that right at the very beginning when the first ASICs came out for Casper. He's now mined well in excess of like 5 million Casper, something like that.
What?
Oh yeah, he mined a boat. Yeah, he got in when the very first Ice Rivers come out. He put like 30 grand down on one. Like I called him crazy because this company was completely unknown.
Right, but it's worth it now. Yeah,
I mean,
hindsight.
Absolutely, looked like an absolute genius. But I mean, I called him the biggest degen going for that kind of play. I mean, that's some proper degen play right there.
It was also before anybody knew what it was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Another question, I see. Marking question: what features of Dynex can be highlighted to appeal to retail to increase adoption, similar to Okta's rendering technical?
Hey, I'm out of here, guys. I can't answer those kind of technical questions.
Wait! I've got some questions for you. I've got some macro questions for you. So not so fast, and I really love that brick wall.
Yeah. I didn't know what to do. Is this or a room? I didn't know.
It looks like you're in the
I'm in the polished part of the cave. You know,
somewhere in London.
Yeah. Right.
Looks like an old English brick wall.
Watching soccer.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely, bro. So, look, before you go, I know you're in the car, but I really liked some posts that you did today on the macro cycle. In fact, a lot of the charts that I had today came from you. Give us your take, brother, before we let you go on
crypto.
Yeah, just on the macro level, cycle itself.
Well, looking at like I did say. Let me start over. I've always said when these Mt. Gox things, we've been waiting for these for what, a year for these Mt. Gox unlocks to come. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't think that everybody's selling. There will be some people that sell just because it's, they got in, some people got in at $100, $5, whatever it was. Right. So I do believe people will sell, but I think for the most part, people are going to hold them because of where we are right now in time. They hold it. They've done what, 6 years, 7 years without having it, even more. So if they wait a little while longer, that they could double what they're getting back now. I truly believe. I think 128 is going to be the top. I've said that for 2 years. But I do think the people that will not sell all of it, but also put those into the altcoin. And that's going to give us this big, crazy altcoin rally. Altcoin. Listen to me, corn. Listen to me. But so last cycle we had stimulus. You know, every government was printing money like crazy. So people were locked in their homes. This time, you know, nobody's going to be locked in their homes. Oh, real quick. When this bird flu nonsense goes around, everybody better just give them the finger and tell them to F off. But anyway, because it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. Anyway.
Well, this time is the bird flu, right?
Yes, that was the bird flu. It's coming. They've already started rolling out all these vaccines to all the cattle. Makes no sense.
Well, wait a minute. So Cliff knows when we had the foot and mouth in the UK, you know, we are when it comes to these global trends, I think you've got to look at the UK government in so many ways. In sending,
all governments.
But we've got an extra dodgy one in the sense that the well,
hey, at least he's got a brain.
He just sounds clever. To be honest, is the acting
right? I should just deaf and dumb. But so all those stimulus went into crypto, which it ran everything. I do believe this time, anybody who sells their Bitcoin that they're getting back from Mt. Gox is going to go into altcoins if they sell. I still don't think. I say 75% of people are going to keep their Bitcoin for now. But that's going to give us this big rolling altcoin cycle. I still believe this is going to be the biggest cycle we've ever seen. One, the ETFs, which, okay, Bitcoin doesn't have much to do with it. Nobody's taking money out of the Bitcoin ETF to throw it into something else. That's not the way that's going to work, right? But just the ETH ETF, and now they're actually talking about Solana ETF. I think what's the saying? Buy the rumor and sell the news, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I've said, you know, I remember yesterday we were on the Discord. I was like, look, this thing is not going to last. We're going to bounce back. And when we woke up, everything was starting to move back up. And if I'm correct, isn't Bitcoin right around where it was before all this stuff happened? Well, give or take $1,000 or so, like around 60,000, like 58 or something. Yeah.
Right.
So we did. I personally think that this is going to be the biggest cycle I've ever seen, but I also think it's going to be the last crazy cycle we've ever seen. Like, I don't think that we'll still have cycles, but there won't be as many X's, for lack of a better word, come in the next ones. I don't see it happen because of all the big money.
Realistically, we haven't seen more than a 5x off of Bitcoin since 2016.
Correct. Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, because it's always going down. So you need more money to move it up.
Yeah, I always tell people, right, if you're after like 50 to 100x, you're never going to get that out of Bitcoin. You're never going to get that out of Ethereum either.
No.
Or even Solana now.
Nope.
Realistically, the only plays you're going to get is, you know, sensible 5x, maybe a 7x return, which is still good. Don't get me wrong; it's still an excellent return, right? If you're thinking any kind of traditional investments, right, 7% is amazing. But realistically, are we going to see 35s, 50s, 100x's? The only option in there is altcoins. 100%.
And the one thing that scares me
kind of money
is when this stock market crashes. It's going to be
I mean,
so bad.
Inevitably that market's got to peak out and drop, just like anything else, right? Same as Bitcoin, it goes in cycles.
I mean, it's
market cycles are a bit different compared because of the amount of regulations around them, right? So.
But what I think is crazy is that NVIDIA, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it as big as the UK stock market?
Pretty much.
So that's insanity. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean,
it just doesn't.
I mean, company valuations are always a weird thing for me, right? Because like I've just had my company valued, and I was explaining to DXB, I'm in the process of selling that for a sizable sum. The problem is, by the time I take out the 50% the tax man's going to take out of it, it's almost, the tax man's got one big old clasp around them, and he's squeezing very, very tight for it.
Yep, and that's everywhere, unfortunately.
It's horrid, right? Because
I've
worked hard for that, so why should I have to? I've been paying tax every year that I've been doing the work, so the tax man's already had a lot out of me. It would be nice that if I come to sell my business, I might be able to actually keep a bit more of that than but
we pay taxes on everything here. I'm sure y'all are the same way.
Oh yeah, we're everything worse.
I mean, you tell people, you own a house. You don't actually own the house. Don't pay the tax on it. See what happens. It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, and you could lose your house for $5,000.
100%. Yeah. They'll put it straight into auction. They won't have a care in the world about doing it. They'll
and be happy to do it.
You. Yep.
And and banks love it when that happens, because usually it depends on what you owe on the house. The banks will buy it back. They'll pay the property tax, and then get it and then resell it.
Yep.
There's a reason BlackRock is actually walking around this our country right now. Because I know y'all are in the UK, I think, but they're buying neighborhoods up for percentages over asking price.
Over here doing the same. They're not even buying just individual properties now. They're buying whole streets.
Yes, of neighborhoods. And that goes to everything. You'll own nothing and be happy. That's the end goal of everything.
And rent's just
skyrocketing. It's cheaper to have a mortgage than rent right now. And some places here
by a long way. If my mortgage on this place is £600 a month. If I rented this place, it would be like $2,500 a month.
Right. Yep.
Like I bought this right at the perfect time. It was just in a small slump. We managed to get, by the time I finalized the paperwork, the price had gone up by 30 grand. And that was just while I was waiting for the paperwork to be finalized.
But you had to pay the extra 30 grand?
No,
or you were already locked in? You were locked in. Okay. Right.
I was already locked in. So by the time they handed me the keys, it went up 30 grand. So that was not a bad investment, right? I didn't do anything other than pick up a set of keys from the estate agent.
Well, I have friends. I have one of my oldest sons. They're looking about buying a house, and I'm trying to tell them, wait, because you can't have interest rates doing this and housing prices doing this as much as they're doing. One's going to have to break, or they're both going to break. Well,
correct.
The interest rates, I do believe we're getting rate cuts this month. I truly believe it. I have no reason for that. I just think we're going, because everything is breaking. I mean, you got bank after bank going under. Bigger banks are buying smaller banks, and they only want the big banks here. They want J.P. Morgan, they want Citibank, and I can't think of the other bank they want here. But they want them to own everything, because once again, it'll be easier to control the CBDC. Because unfortunately, I think we're getting that no matter what. I think we're screwed.
Well, didn't they just run through a new thing in the Parliament,
the Fed
or something about CBDCs to stop them being able to just roll it out without it going to Congress or something?
So yeah, they did. And I live in Louisiana. I live in New Orleans, right? So we have a governor here. We finally got a conservative governor. He put into a law that the CBDC won't. Now, he says he put it into law, right? Personally, I think it's something that's going across everybody's desks, that a CBDC won't be used here, just like DeSantis did in Florida. He did something to affect the same thing. I don't know the word for it is, but he did the same thing in Florida. But our attorney general here was one of the first ones to sue over all these mandates for everything that the government was trying to do. But getting back to the, I'm a little ADHD, if you can tell. Getting back to the housing thing, I believe the end of 25, we're going to see a huge crash across the board in housing. You're seeing it here and there, but for the most part, the prices are still going up in certain.
Yeah, it's surprising.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But when it does crash, that's my goal. Everything that I get out of this cycle, that's what I'm doing. I'm going out, I'm buying everything everywhere, and I'm mostly trying to do it in Arizona. Like northern Arizona is kind of where I'm trying to go. But they got the interest rates, because before interest rates were so high, like you said, you bought a house and then a week later it was 30 grand more. So you used to do a real quick refi, just like that. You do it, go refi, pull you a little bit of profit out.
When I tell people most of the time what my percentage on my mortgage rate is, like, they're shocked because they're so used to now what the mortgage rates are like now.
Right.
They actually forget that a couple of years ago, well, more than a couple of years ago now, but you could get 1% mortgages.
Like, I'm locked in at 2.5%, but yeah,
I'm at 1% locked in.
Oh, you a lucky bastard. That's almost nothing.
Yeah. Basically, it makes no sense to pay it off early, put it that way, because it's so little I pay on top of the overall price that actually I might as well just take the 20 years and just relax and not have any worry about it. So it's
used to, you never wanted to pay off your house. You just keep rolling it over. You keep taking the equity out. Now you can't do that. Because of the interest rates.
Yeah.
And Belta has a good thing right here. It's going to be something. I don't know if it's going to be a CBDC, but we have Fed Now is what they're calling it already.
Yeah, I know that they've already had a ton of different suggestions, haven't they, over there? And I mean, over here is no different, right?
Yeah, y'all have a digital something or other, huh?
Yeah, the Digital Currency Act or whatever it's called.
Something I can't remember the name of it.
But there's also MiCA, right, which is the Europeans' version of all of their overall restrictions around crypto. And that's a whole nother ball game, right? Like Dynex is caught up with all of that because of, obviously, we're a European company. So like that's been fun, having to learn a whole new set of rules.
Right, I'm sure.
It's like this stick. With very complicated explanations of very simple things, and like
I would just take my color and just color on it,
Yeah, it's going to cost hell when they fully enact it. I think by the end of the year they fully enact MiCA.
Yeah.
So if you're not compliant, they're screwed. That's why Tether's pulling out of Europe.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah,
Tether's actually fully announced they're pulling out of Europe. Like they said that they're out. Like that's crazy.
What's crazy is Tether's the biggest stablecoin we have.
Exchanges.
Right. And if you ask me, Circle, USDC, I think they're going to be the anointed one when it comes to the CBDC.
I do have a feeling that USDC will be because it's almost a direct switch for pairing, right?
Exactly.
It's 1-to-1 pegged against the dollar, no different.
And it never moves.
So-called 1-to-1 pegging, by the way. That's backed by, it used to be 1-to-1, right?
Right, yeah.
Have you read their terms and conditions now? It just says that they have something to back it.
We got rocks in the back of the cave to back it everything up.
So, your red, white, and blue painted rocks could literally be backing Tether 1-to-1,
Right, yeah.
It's hilarious because originally their original mandate was 1-to-1. Whatever they mint on chain was backed $1 in their own bank,
or like a treasury bond, or whatever, which is ridiculous in itself.
Correct.
I mean, we have our economic idiot over here, Brainerd. I know everybody saw that clip of him on Twitter trying to explain. I know y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that his specialty in college, he's got a social degree and a something else. I forgot what it is. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with economics. And he's the head of our economics department in this country.
He's a legend.
You can't make it up.
He's a legend. But if there was one politician I would bring back today, is
the problem with most politics, right? Most countries are so fucked from the past that it's going to take years, if not decades, to turn around that problem.
Oh, right. But that's okay. So they call everything debt. Everything's debt, $35 trillion, whatever. I think they call it, my opinion, they call it debt because they want to make us believe they ever intended on paying this back. They've never intended on paying it back.
Correct.
Ever, right? And now it seems like
made debt, right? One person just says, "Oh, this is how much this country now owes us. Oh, this is how much we've credited to their country." It's not It's not like it used to be where you'd have to haul around a ton of actual gold bullion bars, right? You know, to actually make up the money. So,
Right. But
is that Boris Johnson? Did you find
Sorry,
the
I
one
just
where
had
he
to-
tackled that little kid? I think it was
Look,
rugby.
this is even worse.
God damn!
This was
Just flatlined
they
that
should have
guy.
called this guy is honestly I mean
Just flatlined him. Look.
but
Jesus.
he took his knee out.
Oh
that's the
yeah.
prime minister, man.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Do y'all want him back now? Like, would y'all rather him back to what y'all got? No, I don't know. I'm asking. No.
I mean, it's been 14 years for the Conservatives have had power, right? And
they've done nothing.
And they've done nothing
It's
spectacular.
all the same
if
party.
anything.
I
Yeah,
hate to say it. It's
the
all
problem
the same.
is that the next one will inherit a massive shit show anyway, and they're gonna not be able to have enough time to fix that, or they'll get, you know, two consecutive, you know, runs, 8 years, and it still won't be long enough. In theory, they need like 20 years to turn it around,
Right.
and that's the problem. Like, it's gonna take something massive to fix a lot of those problems,
Hey,
unfortunately.
look,
I
conspiracy
mean, you guys
theorists
are all
over
much
here.
better over there, right? You got two old geezers that
Oh,
want to
yeah,
actually
it's
just
horrible.
fight between themselves. And
So the next in line for our Fed chair is I can't think of her name, but she's the one that invented the Fed now and CBDC, and she's in line to be the next Fed chair. You can't make this up. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we got people in our government right now that want the dollar off reserve currency. They don't want it anymore. Which, you know,
Hey, caveman. Sorry.
what?
Just let me. I mean, listen. Let me tell you, this is the greatest tackle you've ever seen, and this is like American football, right? Sorry to
Wait,
cut
that's a
you, bro,
kid?
but I have to. So I've shown you the first X-rated tackle he did on the soccer field.
Right.
This is, don't forget, this is the ex-UK Prime Minister. You know this
Right.
man.
Yeah,
had
I know who
bias
he
in
is.
Milan, right?
Okay.
Now check this out.
Okay. Hey, look. At least he was moving fast enough to fall. Our guy
if I
just
remember
falls
rightly,
off
he
the
almost
stage.
lost his job over that because he absolutely steamrolled him.
He did. Was that kid 12?
I mean, he doesn't do it once. I mean, this is another school trip.
Or he just
Look,
keeps doing it?
He just took out a kid here. Look.
I
I mean, look. Let's just start here first. I mean, this is brilliant. This is
Absolutely flattens the kid.
These poor fucking kids.
And the kid, you know, the kid's good. The kid's
Holy
like,
shit.
what the?
Yeah.
What just
Hey,
happened?
you should pull up Biden falling off the stage next to that.
Listen, look at this. He just takes him out. He took out the kid. Sneak
Wait, look. He tripped him. Is that what,
Yeah,
is that what I just saw? He tripped him.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, check this out. Look, and it's the smallest kid.
Cheeky trip, man.
Whoops.
Oh dear.
Holy shit. That's him
Listen,
too?
that
Yeah,
day,
he was
he got
probably
stuck
one
in
of the
there.
more crazier ones we've had in power over recent years.
Man.
He
Look,
literally got stuck
see,
up there.
I've never seen any of that stuff. I
So he
live on the other
originally
side of the world.
started as the mayor of London. He started as the mayor of London first before he ran for the
Well, hell, that
Conservative.
guy y'all got is the mayor of London now or whatever. that guy is destroying the place from what we see over here. Or the governor, or whatever it is. I don't know how it works. I just know London's like not safe anymore, if I'm
Well,
correct.
listen, this is
I mean,
how it works in the
there's
UK,
always-
brother. Look, This is how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
They just run you over and take what they want. I think that's everywhere.
I mean, you know, like how they say that obviously America's got gun problems, right?
Yeah.
Although
we don't have
I've
a gun
been to
problem, we got
America
stupid
a few
people problem.
times, right? I would say certain
man.
parts of America have a gun problem.
Right.
Not all of America.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, you hear people say, "Why do Americans need their guns?" Well, okay, this is the best way to explain this. When you look at the COVID nonsense that went around everywhere, right? In Australia was the worst, and them in New Zealand, they were the worst. They were. I mean, in California, they arrested a guy for surfing by himself in the ocean. They arrested him. But I think in Australia, they were arresting a dad and a kid for throwing football in the park by themselves, right? Well, it didn't really get that bad here, and it's because we're armed. You know, our gun has, you know, you hear all these stupid politicians talk about, oh, well, you don't need an AR-15 to hunt. Yeah, no, we don't. We need an AR-15 to deal with y'all when y'all get tyrannical. And that's what it's for. That's exactly what it was written for. To deal with a tyrannical government.
I enjoyed firing an AR-15 when I was in the States last time.
Oh, you did?
That was fun. Yeah. I go down the shooting range.
It's fun,
every time I'm over. It's good stress relief. It's fantastic stress relief.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Because this is the thing. If there's no such thing as an assault rifle. It's the same thing. If I got an ice bottle, if I hit you in the head and kill you, it's an assault bottle. It doesn't make any sense. You know, look at all the people in London. They took away guns.
Yeah,
people get stabbed.
Yeah, we just have a knife problem now.
Right now, you have a knife problem, but it's not. It's stupid people problem. You know, I could take my gun, keep it loaded, put it somewhere, and if nobody touches it, it's never going to go off. There was a thing that was done here. They put a gun into a kindergarten class. It was unloaded, but they put it down. They had 10 kids whose parents were completely against guns. Guns are evil. And they had 10 kids whose parents were gun owners and taught their kids about guns. Do you know the kids who knew about guns walked away from it? The other kids were holding it up, looking through down the barrel and everything.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Exactly.
Like the level of education around firearms over there is very high. Especially when it comes to parents and kids, you generally don't hear of mishaps happening, right? Like that, right? Where a kid picks up a gun. Most people are very, you know, sensible with their weaponry over there. I've noticed that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
This is, by the way, this is fantastic. You know, look.
Yeah, caveman, better to have a stick.
But honestly, this is why I think, you know, moving to Dubai or I think.
I'm coming to Dubai. We're coming to Dubai, at least to visit.
Guys,
we're coming.
Honestly, it's 3 a.m. My front gate's open.
Yeah.
All my neighbors. Absolutely nothing is stolen today.
That's because they do have a zero tolerance out there, though, right?
Well, it should be on crime.
Like that's
Absolutely.
the best way
you're right.
to not need guns, right? Just put zero tolerance to everything.
Right. I do know that
it does go to show you what's capable. If you genuinely, you know, make a screw up over there, you're gonna go to prison.
We're on the books.
Yeah, I mean, look, John is in California, and I was in California back in I think a couple of years ago, just after COVID. I was out there. I flew in from Vegas, went to New York, Vegas, then Los Angeles. Man, we didn't leave the hotel. I mean, we did few touristy things in the middle of the day.
Right.
Egypt's like that, though, realistically. You don't leave your hotels in Egypt.
Oh, actually,
really?
I feel far safer in Cairo than I'll ever do.
Cairo, maybe, but
Los Angeles.
I would definitely not want to go unaccompanied to some of the outer.
And you want to hear something funny? California has some of the strictest gun laws. Go figure. Every single mass shooting happens in a no-gun zone.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
That's incredible.
Because nobody's allowed to have guns except for criminals. Criminals don't listen to law, so it doesn't matter what laws you pass. Criminals don't listen to them. Yeah, just one of those stupid things governments do to try to take away your rights. yeah, I can keep going on. I do have to go, fellas. My wife is calling me like crazy.
Listen, I'm gonna look. It's 3 a.m, and I've just had a bucket of KFC arrive, so I'm gonna talk to the colonel.
God, it's that KFC again.
But
Hey,
guys,
I
before
am
you get,
setting up like a studio because my kids have been telling me to do something on YouTube for a long time because they say I make people laugh because I'm an idiot. So
Yeah,
you
see,
know.
I tell people I'm not a YouTuber. I just tell people I'm not a YouTuber.
I've got you
Right?
covered,
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah. There you
I've
go.
got-
Perfect. Thank you. That's awesome.
I've got you covered. And to be honest with you, before you leave, in the words of in the actions of our great Prime Minister, I'd like to leave everybody with this thought. So just bear with us for a moment. We're having some technical issues down here at the BBC, but we are trying to rectify it. So, guys, prediction time.
What's that?
What are you most bullish on? Each one of you. You get 3 projects, excluding Dynex and Okta, for quality and training purposes.
Boy,
And,
you know the two he that was 2 of the 3 he was going to say.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I would say, I honestly, thanks to you, Mavia,
Mhm. Right.
especially at $1 a man. Casper, of course, and then honestly, as much as Dynex as I have now, I got to go with Dynex myself because I did go
Absolutely.
kind of heavy.
Well, you're allowed to say that, but
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one who's
yeah.
banned for using that one, right? Too much bias, right?
Right,
No,
right.
but
No,
I mean,
not
a
at
little
all.
bit,
Very
just a little bit.
For me, Casper's one of the ones on my list. The wife's been really into Neoxa as well for the play to earn. Obviously, that's always good. She
Shout
also
out to
likes
Mandy, by the way.
a bit of Litecoin. But if you're really talking about like new projects out there, I also like a bit of what Alephium's up to at the moment. Like they're still building phase for them. Really, I know that they've been around a while now, but they're still building out what they're trying to build out. And now with their new ASICs coming out, it's going to be interesting to see what really happens with that network. So I mean, and of course, like there's still the 2 that I'm not allowed to say, right? Those 2 are still very much.
You can say them, by the way. We're just pulling your leg.
No, but me and you have talked about this, right? Like the tracking of where Okta and Dynex and even Casper, right? Those 3 in general, just the tracking of those has been very, very similar. Like how they've gone on very different paths.
They're stepping up, from whole different aspects of the whole. Yeah,
and we've seen those. We've seen those 3 actually.
We trust, by the way.
Well.
In Cliff we trust. So this is really good alpha. But guys, look, before I go anywhere in the actions of our great Prime Minister, I would love to leave you with this clip one last time because I think this is one for the generations. This is how politics should be practiced. Just go down to school trips and mow the kids down.
just run them over.
And I mean, he didn't even take off the brakes. Like he didn't even put the brakes on.
Right.
Like at all. He just absolutely.
He didn't even try to move out the way. The kid tried to move out the way.
Yeah.
He just ran straight.
This is very sneaky.
This is hilarious because he just completely misses what he's trying to do.
He just trips the poor kid. Man.
Guys, listen, it's been brilliant. On that note, I'm going to deal with the Colonel, like I said, but my brothers, you have been brilliant. Set up this studio because I think we should have a regular slot. The 3 of us should.
Yeah, it would be nice to not be in the car once.
No, it doesn't actually. That wall that you just built a wall on the southern border, mate. You've done that pretty quickly.
I know. Hey, look, you know what? I got my stone tools. I'm pretty quick with that. You know?
But then I guess the only thing you need to do is make DXB pay for it. I guess for the wall.
That's a good idea.
I want to be.
I didn't even think about that one. Hey, we got like a quarter percent of this country. When you say wall, they freak out on you. So if you get my drift, I like walls. Look, I love walls.
There's one behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
But guys, we are going to talk about Alephium. I think, look, I know that the lion has just said this is the first time I'm hearing about that. Alf, trust me, there's a whole dedicated thing that I'm going to do. I'm also interested in what Cliff is going to say about. He gave us a snippet there, but about the new mining setup, which is going to be quite interesting. So look, for both of you, let's get back together very soon because I think everybody benefits from hearing.
I'm always down for that.
Perspectives.
I would have said that we could have brought Tariq on, but he's lost his voice today, so his wife's actually throwing him a party right now.
Well, listen.
Wait, she's throwing him a party for losing his voice?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's getting the day off.
Well, for once he'll be quiet.
Exactly.
I can understand why the missus is appreciating that. You know,
right?
Can we have a moment of silence? Oh, by the way, Patriot, before you go, last one from the legend himself. There's someone behind you.
Yeah. Nobody behind me. Not the case. Look, hey, one thing I have learned from living in New Orleans, and this is something you can ask any one of my family members, my wife. If I sit down in a restaurant, my back is never to the door. My back is always by a wall. And that hand to God on that one.
Well, Cliff, thinks you learned in America. Thinks you learned in America.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Years ago.
All right, guys.
Years ago, I was with a friend, a colleague at the time, and we had a business trip to Orlando, and the guy was Mexican, right? Honestly, character from the Narcos. I mean, there was no Narcos then, but this guy just looked the part, the way he dressed and everything. So we walked into a steakhouse, and he starts talking to the waitress in Spanish, and it was all good for me. It was just kind of business development activities that we were doing. And the guy goes, no tables available, and the entire restaurant is empty apart from the two at the end of the wall.
It never reminds me to take a group of YouTubers to a place in Miami, right?
Can we see the receipt?
Oh, you want to see the receipt? Oh, you want to see the receipt? Sure. Hang on a sec. The receipt is like. Hang on.
Oh, mate.
You want me to just send it to your DXB? You can put it up on screen.
Oh, please. That should live in the
reason
Discord.
why you don't take. This is the reason why you don't take 15 YouTubers to a place to eat. This got expensive fast.
I'm still waiting for my Colonel bucket. By the way, I didn't get any of this food.
Yeah, it was like 7-8 grand.
I'll just DoorDash, just
$15,000 of Dynex.
Yeah, put it on the business card. Let Dynex pay for
it. Exactly.
John said, if you live in the States, you'll always have your back. John, I couldn't really understand. Honestly, the restaurant is empty, and I thought Orlando is relatively safe, man, unless you're in some neighborhoods. Right. Anyway, the guy goes, let's not eat here. And he had this beautiful accent. Said, what do you mean I'm hungry, man? They got nice steak here. He goes, my friend, I need the 2 tables at the back.
Right, yeah. I don't know what it is. That's something I've always done. It's weird.
Let's just sit at the door. There's fresh air coming in. I'm like,
nope. Another thing I do too, whenever I walk into a place, I always look for the exit. I don't know why. Just to where if something ever happens, you know how to get out. I don't.
Yeah, of course. Nothing wrong with
that.
Well,
listen, what really messed me up for me was just Columbine. I was watching the documentary again. Those 2 kids, man. I'm like,
oh yeah, man. Yeah.
Those horrible kids. When a society.
Yeah, the thing is, though, the UK's had some horrible child killers.
Right. Well, this is the crazy thing, though. They never let you know. It's rarely on the news. Every one of these killers are all on SSRIs. Not saying that they're bad or good, or that's not what I'm getting at. But I'm getting at they all have mental problems, but they blame the gun.
Oh man, those 2 kids were horrible. I mean, some of the footage that they recorded.
Yeah.
And imagine, you got your kids going to school with people like that, and kids were reporting them. But I just happened to watch the documentary again recently.
Yeah.
I was like, God, man.
Oh yeah, it's mind blowing how many turn out that they could have probably just been okay if they'd have got the help when they actually needed it.
Right. Exactly. But nowadays parents, when like my youngest kid's 19, right? Got 4. But parents nowadays, babysitters, the iPad or the TV, it doesn't make much sense. Don't know. I have no
Guys,
idea.
let's do a part 2. Honestly, the kernel's getting cold.
I just sent you the receipt on Discord, by the way. If you want to show that, that's crazy.
I'm gonna pin that. I think. Listen, the next receipt like that in the bull market in Dubai.
That's on you.
Will probably, yeah.
No,
it's
no.
It's coming from your Mavia bag.
Right. Yeah. Right.
The
guys.
Dynex bag is.
Y'all have a great night, fellas.
God bless.
And you,
All right, buddy.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, Caveman. Thank you, brother. Listen, let's do it again early next week, please.
Yep. No worries,
shout out to the missus as well. Thanks,
no worries.
Cheers.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.